This past weekend was the All-Star weekend, and I watched only Saturday and Sunday's events. I didn't watch Friday's events with the Rising Stars game or the Celebrity game, but I'm not going to be talking about those two, the Friday night, whatever stuff in this video because, as I said, I didn't watch it, but I'm going to talk about the Saturday and the Sunday events. You know, the dunk contest, the three-point contest, the Steph and Sabrina, and also the All-Star game. So if you guys don't know the outcome of the All-Star game, the West lost and they got blown out the water like 200 to like 180. First time in history we ever seen 200 points in an NBA All-Star game. And I think in an NBA game in general, I don't think there's ever been a 200-point NBA game other than that. I could be wrong though. You know, maybe sometime in the 60s when Wilt Chamberlain dropped 100, that's probably where it is. I don't know. But for the most part, that's just what it is, man. They scored 200 points and Damian Lillard won the MVP, which I thought was deserved, man. He was killing it. Like, if you guys watch that game, that dude drained two half-court freaking threes and he was just splashing from everywhere. I was like, is this guy even real? You know what I mean? He was going crazy. But I just wanted to talk about this because I feel like the All-Star break this year was kind of lackluster. I'm just going to keep it a buck 50. It was kind of lackluster, man. Now, I think the three-point contest and the Steph and Sabrina, I think the Steph and Sabrina was cool. I thought that was cool. And the three-point contest, I still think that that's cool. But the dunk contest needs to be changed, man. It needs to be changed. I mean, you can't just have Mac McClung, a G League player, you know, going like they have a bunch of just G League players now just doing the dunk contest. And I feel like we're at a cap right now in creativity when it comes to dunks. Like, what more dunks can we do? We've seen all. We've seen 360 windmills. We've seen like every single dunk in the game. We've seen jumping over a person. Like, what other new crazy thing are we going to see in this dunk contest? There really isn't too much to see anymore. So why not, I would say, change the dunk contest. Now, here's a few options I would give out to change the dunk contest. First things first, what I would do is I would probably lower the rims. That's like the first option. Just lower the rims 1 foot or 2 foot, make it like an 8 foot or 9 foot. You know what I mean? Just so there's more creative dunks and maybe like a double through the legs, like just more creative stuff. Or just make the ball a little bit smaller so, you know, you can do a little bit more crazy stuff with the smaller ball. That's like the only two things I could think of. Other than that, I say scrap the idea and come up with something new, man. Come up with at least like a 1v1 tournament. That would be so freaking sick. Think about how much people would watch that. A 1v1 tournament, you know, like a 1v1 to 3 points or something like that, and it keeps on rotating between players. I think that would be so cool. Or do like a 3v3 freaking tournament, you know, in the All-Star game, like a 3v3 tournament. That would be so sick, man, if they were to do that as well. Just scrap the dunk contest and put in something new, man. Like, put in a new, different event because there's just a cap in it right now. There's no creativity or anything, and I personally just didn't enjoy it, man. There are some people out there that did enjoy it, and I think that's cool and all, but I think I speak for the majority of people where I could say that this year's dunk contest was absolutely garbage. The last good dunk contest that I remember was 2018 or 2019. That's when Hamidou Diallo from the OKC Thunder won the dunk contest. That's the last dunk contest I remember. Everything else, like 2020, I mean, yeah, I guess I was all right. But 2021, 2022, 2023, yeah, no good. Or 2024, whatever. I don't remember it all. It's forgettable. I don't even know who won. I know Mac McClung won last year, but the year before that, who won the dunk contest? I don't even know. It just seems so forgettable, man. So that's kind of like one problem I have with the All-Star weekend. It's just the garbage freaking dunk contest, and I feel like they need to change it out. Another thing, the All-Star game. They need to try more. There needs to be more of an incentive with the All-Star game. Like, I'm all for, you know, having fun, whatever, but the All-Star game, as Kobe Bryant said before he passed away in one of his interviews, rest in peace, he literally said that the All-Star game is meant for fans to watch the best pickup basketball game in the world. And that is true, man. If you are an all-star, you're considered one of the best basketball players in the world. Like, that's crazy. We're basically watching a 5v5 against the best basketball players of all time, or not of all time, but in the world. And we're like, well, what am I watching? You know, all we seeing is people shooting 30 footers and people are just doing some stupid passes, whatever. And don't get me wrong, like Karl-Anthony Towns went crazy. Like other players, Tyrese Halliburton went crazy as well. But I want to see actual competitiveness. Just like in 2020, remember in 2020, right, where they did like the overtime thing. So until somebody gets 24 points, I mean, they should have brought that back, or at least, you know, make it competitive like that, because that was actually competitive and that was very enjoyable to watch. But there's just no incentive, man. There needs to be an incentive, maybe like a cash incentive, just like the in-season tournament. You know the in-season tournament, right? How it has like a 500K prize money pool and a hardware. They should be like the same thing for the All-Star game, man. There should be a hardware for East and West, and we'll see who wins the most. You know, oh, East has over the West, and there should be some cash incentive for it. I feel like that would be enough to make people try. You know what I mean? Instead of just people shooting half courts and doing some crazy type dunks, man. And LeBron James, he didn't really play that much either. He only played like the first half. But Shea Gilgeous, though, 30 points. That's what I love to see as a Thunder fan. SGA 30 bomb, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I love to see. That's what we need to see more of. But anyways, man, the All-Star game was just kind of lackluster. Like, it wasn't terrible, don't get me wrong. Like, oh my gosh, this is so garbage. It was not like that whatsoever. But it could have been a lot more enjoyable if people actually tried, man. Like, imagine West versus East when they're actually trying. Instead, you have Jokic and Luka just chucking up some weird things and doing some stupid stuff. Like, it's just not really that competitive, man. And it just kind of makes for a boring game. And it's the same thing for the NFL, too. The NFL Pro Bowl, like, no one cares about no Pro Bowl anymore. Like, think about how cool the Pro Bowl would be if people actually tried. But no, they're so scared of getting injured and whatever. Like, I just don't understand, man. Now, being, like, tearing an ACL or something like that during, like, a Pro Bowl All-Star, that is very, very rough. And that would be a rough ending to somebody's season. But, man, it's for the fans, man. Like, as a fan watching these All-Star games recently, I mean, it's just not really that entertaining at all. Because they're just, as I said, not trying. Like, if they're not trying, not caring, then why should I watch at all? You know what I mean? So, I just wish that people would take Kobe's advice when it comes to the All-Star game and treat it like the best 5-on-5 pickup basketball game in the world. That'd be so cool and so entertaining. And watching some of these, like, highlights on Twitter of older basketball or older All-Star games makes me really, like, question what the heck, man, because these dudes were actually trying hard, man. Like, the games were competitive, games were close, they were like setting screens, they were actually hustling for boards, playing defense. Like, where was this at in this year's All-Star game or any of the All-Star games? There needs to be some type of incentive, man. Now, I wouldn't agree with the incentive of, okay, this certain conference gets an advantage in the finals or whatever. But instead, it should be, as I said, cash and hardware. Now, honestly, I'm not even against the idea. If the West or East wins, whatever team wins gets home court in the finals. That would be perfect, right? Like, let's say if West wins the All-Star game, that means any Western Conference team that makes the finals gets the home court advantage in the finals. And for the East as well, if the East win the All-Star game just like they did this year, then they would get the home court advantage through the finals. That would be cool. That would definitely be something where I would definitely be interested in, because most of the time the players that are in the All-Star game are contending, so that would be a pretty cool incentive I just thought of right now as I'm making this video. But yeah, I just want to talk about the All-Star weekend today because it was just a little, like, boring, man. It really was, like, a little boring, a little lackluster. The best part of all of All-Star weekend, to be honest, was the three-point contest. I'm just gonna say, or the Steph and Sabrina three-point contest. That's like the two most entertaining things out there, because everything else, like the dunk contest, All-Star game, just very mediocre, man. Mediocre at best. And it sucks to see, because that used to be like, those two, the All-Star game and dunk contest, used to be like the most hyped things. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait for that, type stuff. But now it's just very lackluster, man. Now, I know maybe the rookie and the celebrity game was probably really, really good. And I did see like Kai Cenat have 4 points and Micah Parsons at like 39 points, something crazy like that. CJ Stroud went crazy too on the celebrity game. And of course, Chet Holmgren, Jalen Williams, that team won the whole entire thing, which I think is cool. But there needs to be some type of cash incentive with these events, and they need to just take out the dunk contest and put them in a new one. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys today. I just want to talk about that. Let me know down in the comments what you guys would think to fix the All-Star games or fix anything. Definitely let me know, man. It's been your boy Deanna. If you guys enjoyed today's video, of course, like, subscribe if you're brand new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See you guys later.